Welcome back to Runiverse. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Worldbreakers Advent of the Khanate. This is part 5 of the solo campaign, but you're welcome to join me, even if you missed the first 4 parts, which are across 3 videos, and I've lost twice and cheated to win once, so I've got 1 victory out of 4 so far, which technically means I shouldn't be continuing on. If you want to hear more about the difficulty, check out the beginning of the previous video. I'm still going to start with 1 power. I don't think my deck has gotten better. Kudalun has gotten slightly harder, so I'm not optimistic, but let's give it a shot. And at the end of this, the part 5, chapter 5, this concludes the first half of the campaign. And I'm pretty sure next we will no longer be Marco Polo, and I'm hoping that will mean like a deck and therefore difficulty reset. So we'll see how that goes, but not today. We're on chapter 5. It says you reach Kudalun's camp and are granted an audience with her. But before you can fully present your case, Tengri's cavalry barge in and accuse you of thievery. It seems you were persuasive enough because Kudalun refuses to turn you over to them, instead taking you as her own prisoner. A few nights later, a commotion outside wakes you up. The camp is under attack by the Order of Assassins, which means that your message was delivered and your plan succeeded. Win this chapter to escape during the chaos. Objective is 10 power. Flip this if you win. Get an opening hand of 5 cards and check for a mulligan. And I think I'm going to mulligan away that's Inspirational Vision. This is one I played last game, and I got kind of lucky with it. It worked out, but I don't know that I'm feeling good about it. I've got to pay 2, and I choose follower or location, which makes it versatile. That's the main benefit of it, is you choose whether you want a follower or location, and then you reveal until you get one, and you can play it immediately for 2 less. If you can't play it, you should add it to your hand. But if I can't play it, it's a really bad way to spend 2 Mythium in an action. So I want to pretty much be able to play it like for sure. And since there are chances that I might hit Void or multiple stars standing, I might not be able to play that card early in the game, or if I don't have a ton of Mythium, I might not be able to afford it. The 2 discount is basically just paying me back for the 2 cost, which I can avoid paying by just not using this card. So I think it's a bit too risky in this deck. The versatility is it can be a follower or a location, but I'm not going to use it. I mean, I guess I could use it just as a location, but no, I'll just draw the location instead. So I'm just going to mulligan once and then draw a replacement card, and then I think shuffle. I am going first. I've got the tracker on my side here, and I'm going to pay 3 Mythium off the bat to play the Submerged Brilliance. Location costs 3, and its first ability here is to draw 2 cards and gain 2 Mythium. Second is to gain a power and a standing, and third is to gain a power, and I need 10 power to win. Starting with 1 because of the difficulty level I chose, and that's my action, is to play a card. But I will trigger Marco Polo. I'm actually remembering the first time this time. After you play a location, exhaust him and reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a follower, draw it. It is a follower, so I get a Lowly Bard. And otherwise put it on the bottom of my deck, but I got to keep it. So I can't do that again this round. We'll go over to Kudalun, and I shuffled this without looking, and we're starting off with a Call to Arms. So her very first action is going to be to put the top card of her deck into play with a +1/+1 counter. And she's getting a Weary Veteran. It's just a 1/2. She does not have 3 standing, so boop. It's going to be a 2/3. And of course, when it attacks, it's going to get Kudalun's trigger, and it's going to get +1. This gets flipped, and her next action will be to charge with the Weary Veteran. Now it's my turn. And I found out that I was doing some stuff wrong to make it slightly harder on myself. I don't know how much it would have changed. Could be actually a lot. Which is Kudalun can only gain... She started with 1 Earth standing here. She can only gain more through the actions of this deck, not through the card abilities in her deck. So that can affect when the more powerful units get shuffled in and therefore come out. But anyway, I'm going to play the Heedless Investor. He costs 1. And when he enters, if I have a location, which I do, I gain 3 Mythium. Otherwise, I would gain a standing, but we'll take the Mythium to get off to a strong start, hopefully. Although now I'm going to have to defend with him because Kudalun is going to charge. She attacks with all of her ready followers. And then her ability says that when one attacking follower gets +1 strength. So instead of 1/2, it is now a 2/2 for this fight. And that applies on each of her attacks, which she generally does twice per round. I think I will go ahead and defend it. So we're going to apply 1 wound to the veteran And then 1, 2, 3 wounds to my investor who has 2 life and dies. Goes to my third action. Now I have 4 Mythium, but I'm going to use a Submerged Brilliance. I'm going to use the develop action to draw 2 cards and gain 2 more Mythium. This should have been discarded to reveal a regular recruit. She just plays the top card of her deck on her action, which is going to be the Lion Tamer, just a 1/1. She does not use migrate abilities. So that is not too scary. This should be flipped. It becomes a regular charge. And I think I'm going to pay 2 for Caravan Guard. He is just a 2/4 who can't attack, but during the first half of the campaign, I'm not allowed to attack anyway. So we'll bring that out. Then she will charge with the Lion Tamer, and I will defend, but my guy has 2 power, or 2 attack, and will kill the Tamer. 1, actually it gets the bonus, so 2 attack. We'll put 2 wounds onto my Caravan Guard. And that's the end of the round. So we'll resolve rally abilities, but there are none in play. We ready all cards. Everyone gains 2 Mythium, but she doesn't use Mythium. Everyone draws a card, but she doesn't use cards. In case you're watching for the first time, this is a 2-player game, and I'm playing the solo campaign, which lets you play versus an AI solitaire opponent using this deck. So there are some variations to the normal structure here. Check for victory. No one has 10 power. And then flip the player order. So now she will go first. This should have been discarded, revealing another regular old recruit. So she will recruit a Champion of the Tumen 4/2 with Overwhelm. So even if I block it, assuming what it blocks dies, she will get the power from that. This gets flipped to reveal a regular charge, which means on her second action, she's going to be attacking with both of these 2. And I'd like to play a follower now, because if I don't, I can easily block once, but then the 1 unblocked is going to give her 1 power and damage my location. And the 1 power is not great, but I really don't want my Submerged Brilliance to be damaged. Fortunately, I got quite a good one off my draw just now. For 3 Mythium, I'm going to play the Stars Apprentice. I gained another Stars standing. I started with 1 with Marco Polo. So now I have 2. And if I have a location, which I do, I get to draw another card. And she is a 2/2, which is no slouch. So Kudalun will take her turn. She's going to charge, attack with both of them. Her trigger will happen and give 1 attacking follower plus 1 strength. She chooses the one that has the highest standing requirement, which is the Champion of the Tumen. So this will get the bonus, which means this is staying as a 2/3 with 1 wound. And unfortunately, nobody can survive that. So I'm just going to be trading off here. I was hoping that maybe one of these could survive, but because of this +1/+1 counter, the 2 attack is still going to take out either of these. So I'll block here. 2 power plus the current wound will take out the 3 life, and then the 1/2 attack will take out my 2 life here. Those are gone, and then 5 will kill the 2 remaining life, and then 2 will kill the 2 life there. But because of the Overwhelm trigger, when she kills my Caravan Guard, she does still get 1 power. Then it goes to my second action, and I think I'm going to develop the Submerged Brilliance to gain a power and 1 standing. I don't currently have anything that requires 3 stars, but I also don't have anything that requires Void. So I have both in my deck, but neither in my hand. I'm going to get the 3rd stars for now. Should have discarded this. Regular recruit is next, so she will recruit the Skillful Bruiser, another Overwhelm, but this one's just a 3/1. Flip this to become a Lay Siege. I think this is a new one. If you control a non-hidden location, which I do currently, your opponent damages a non-hidden location you control, otherwise they attack. So I can actually make them skip attacking by just taking damage to a location. Well, it's not optional. So this is interesting. If I develop this now, I get to gain a power, because that's its 3rd ability that I still have available to me. It's the only one left. So I can develop this as my action and gain a power. And I need 10 power to win. It's not easy to come by, because this is where the power comes from. It's from these locations, at least in this half of the campaign. So if I develop it, it's gone, because that'll be the 3rd one ability used up, and it'll be discarded. And then that first half of the trigger won't happen, and she will attack normally and gain a power. and then still have this overwhelm follower out. Or I can do something else, but then she won't attack. She will skip attacking to damage a location, which could be either this one or a new one that I play. But it'd probably be this one, honestly. So we can both get a power, or we can both be denied a power. Because if I get the power from this, she gets the power from attacking. Can't block her, because if I play something other than developing, she won't attack. And she'll just steal this power from me. I think I actually want all the power I can get. I'm just gonna have to race her later. So I'm gonna develop this now and get 1 power, putting me up to 3, and this is discarded. And then she will skip the first half of that and just attack normally and get her 2nd power because this is undefended. Then this is discarded, revealing a flank. So her first action in the next round will be if she has any wounded followers, or if I have any wounded followers, she will defeat the one with the most wounds. Otherwise, she will just recruit normally. So I think that's fine. She's going to end up recruiting normally. And I'm going to get to go twice here. End of this round and start of the next, which means I actually get 3 actions before she attacks. Yes, I'm going to play the Humble Underpass for 2. Oh, yeah, it means I get to trigger Marco Polo this round, so that's good. So this is going to give me the ability to develop it for 2 Mythium and a power, and then 2 Mythium and a standing. And so we'll go ahead and trigger Marco Polo, and got a follower, Weary Veteran. Ooh, which is nice for getting the 3 stars. If I have at least 3 standing with 1 guild, he gets a +1/+1 counter. So because I chose stars, I'll be able to benefit from that. That ends the round. We rally and ready, gain 2 Mythium and draw a card. Ooh, I did draw a Void card, which I won't be able to play yet because it requires 1 Void standing. Flip this over, and I get to go next. But if I develop the Humble Underpass twice, I will be able to get a standing, and I can make that second one Void. But I won't be able to develop, and play this before their attack. So that might be for later. You know what? I'm going to develop it, though. Let's get 2 Mythium and 1 power up to 4. And they get to go, they flank, but I don't have anything wounded. So she just recruits a Swift Messenger, a 1/3. And this is the type of ability that I found out I'm supposed to skip. So she does not gain 1 standing. This gets flipped to a charge, but I think I'm actually going to set up this witness a bit. I'm going to play the Portraitist for 3, and for the rest of the round, nobody can attack. So just a 1/1, but she cannot attack me now, which means on her charge, she just doesn't do anything and reveals another recruit. And for my 3rd action, let's go ahead and use the Underpass again, get 2 more Mythium and a standing. This time we'll get a Void. This is used up. She will recruit again, and it is an Eagle Huntress, a 2/2. Everything else is skipped there. This is flipped to become Unrelenting. Any of your opponent's followers have stationary, remove a stationary counter, but they are not stationary. Otherwise, she'll just try to attack, but she won't be able to because of the Portraitist. This is a stationary counter. None of them have one. It's not the same as this ability. My 4th action, been waiting a while. I think I prefer this sequencing here. Ooh, although she's going to be able to... No, she's going to try to attack and fail, and then she gets to go first and she'll recruit again. So I do have a chance to play a 2nd and 3rd follower, but she is going to have 1 more that follower attacking than I have available to block. But see, I'm going to play 1 this action, and then again on my 1st action in the next round before she gets to attacking. I think that makes sense. I'm going to play Yam Operator for 1. I can play an event card for 1 Mythium less, and this is just a 1/1. The event I'm going to play is Proof of the Grotto, which costs 1, so I'm going to play it for free. And it says I can play a card, paying 1 Mythium less for each standing I have, which is 4. So I can play a card for 4 less, but I don't have anything that costs 4, so I'm going to play a card for 3. And that card is going to be Surprising Development. And I'm wondering if I should just play the Serendipitous Witness, actually, because then I can actually get more people out. But I could play this now for free and get 5 Mythium, but maybe I just don't do that and play this guy instead. Costs 3. They both cost 3, so I'm not saving anything. But instead of gaining 5, I'm going to get a 2/3 who has the ability that whenever somebody dies once per round, I get a Mythium. And hopefully I can get at least like 2 out of him. So let's do that. Then their action is going to be to attack, but they can't attack. This is discarded. Get 2 Mythium. I get to draw a card. We ready, everybody? And we flip this to her action where she will recruit, and she recruits a lowly bard, just a 1/1, flips it to become advance. So this will actually give her earth standing, which will cause 4 more scary followers to get shuffled into her deck. And she will attack, which means I have 1 action. And how do I want to block? So when she attacks, +1 power, +1 attack bonus is going to go on the follower of hers with the highest standing requirement, but it's a tie. They both have 1 earth. Next tiebreaker would be the highest mythium cost, but they're tied at 2. The next tiebreaker is actually the least remaining health. So this Skillful Bruiser will get +1 attack to become a 4/1, but a 1/1 can easily trade with that. It'll still trigger Overwhelm, but 1 life is the most important part. So I can safely ignore this +1 attack. This 1/1 can trade with this 1/1. This 2/3 can either block here and they will survive, or block here and kill the Huntress. So I'd love to play somebody that can more efficiently deal with one of these two, but I don't know that's totally the case. But I'll play this Weary Veteran that I got, and he's going to have a +1/+1 counter because I have 3 stars standing, so he's going to be a 2/3. I think I'll move these standings over to underneath the decks to make things look a little bit neater. The Veteran can go here. That was my action. Now she will advance. Her earth standing goes up by 1, which triggers new rule card number 2. Force interrupt when your opponent has 2 earth standing. Shuffle all cards stored here into her deck. And these are the 4 cards that were stored. They all have the 2 earth standing requirement, which she now has. So a little bit scary. Followers are potentially coming out soon. And when she gets to 3 earth standing, there's another scary follower who will get shuffled in. And then she attacks. So these all attack. We'll do the blocks like I said, I think. So we'll do 1 here. They trade. Overwhelm triggers and she gets a power, but my Witness also triggers and I get a Mythium. We'll go ahead and trade the Yam Operator with the Bard. He can't trigger again, unfortunately. I think I will put him here because the 1 means he can still block. Like I could just have these 2 fight for a few rounds and let him trigger longer. So this will take 2, and then we'll block here. 2 will kill 2, and 2 will not kill 3. So that's pretty nice. And this is a pretty happy board state for me, I think. This gets discarded and reveals Inspire. So she's going to put the top of her deck into play and then gain her 3rd Earth. Then my second action. Let's play Silkworm Terrarium for 2. This one is hidden, so it can't be damaged. I could immediately discard a card to develop it, which saves me an action in the future. And I wonder if I'm ever going to play this surprising development. So I haven't in the past. So let's go ahead and discard it, develop this immediately, and gain a power up to 5. Now I don't have to spend an action later on it, although I might find other ways to efficiently develop, and I could regret not having that card. I am low on cards. I actually only have 1 card left in my hand, but I don't know that I was going to play that anyway. So I do get to trigger Marco Polo because I just played a location and not a follower this time. Unfortunately, this goes to the bottom of the deck. My opponent will Inspire. She's going to bring out the Astute Tactician. So right off the bat, we got a double Earth follower here, a 5/3. That is beefier than I'm used to here. Of course, it will attack as a 6/3. Our standing goes to 3, which triggers new rules card 3. Shuffle Tengri's Cavalry into the deck. There's another scary card. And this gets flipped to a regular charge. So he's going to be coming in. He won't be able to damage this, but what do? I mean, I may as well just play the last card in my hand. Last game I spent a lot of actions doing the really bad basic actions of just gain a Mythium or draw 1 card. May as well avoid that for now. Let's play this for 2. And I gain a Mythium for each standing I have across guilds, which is 4. So that's nice. But she's just going to be a 1/1. So she's not going to be a great blocker against the Tactician, but she can be a blocker. He's attacking with 6 attack. The amount of attack doesn't matter. The fact is he's either going to get through or not get through. If he gets through, Kudalin gains 1 power. If he doesn't get through, it's because I lost my Bard, which I think is what we're going to be doing here. So put 1 wound here and lose her. Terrarium was safe either way because it is hidden. Now it's my fourth action. I have no cards, so my options are just draw a card, gain a Mythium, or just develop this terrarium for one more power. I have 5 Mythium, which is nice. I think I'm going to draw a card. I want a little bit more options going into the next round. So we'll rally, ready, gain Mythium, draw another card, and flip this. This should have been discarded, revealing a regular recruit. All right, I'm going to play Slice Sentinel for 3. 2/3, when it blocks, I can remove something else from the attack, which is nice. Then she will recruit, and it is, oh my gosh, the cavalry right off the bat, 6/2 with overwhelm. And then this is flipped to reveal a regular charge. I think I'm going to draw again, and then she's going to attack with all 3. This gets the +1. I could clear the board, but I don't know if that's the best for me. I think I'm going to have the Sentinel block the Messenger. When it blocks, I get to remove somebody else from the fight. I'll take the Tactician out. 2 attack will kill the 1 remaining health here, and the 1 attack will put 1 wound here. This is still attacking. Also, something died, so I get 1 Mythium from my witness. And I'm going to have the veteran block the cavalry. It has 2, so it'll kill 2. And then, of course, 7 will kill the remaining 1 health here. Overwhelm means she gains 1 power. This is gone. This is discarded, revealing a regular recruit. My third action, I'm going to play Void Apprentice. So for 3 Mythium, I gain a Void standing, which is more than I need on Void there. And if a follower is defeated this round, I get to draw a card. So we made that happen. I still need to find 5 more power from locations. I have 1, but I need 4 more from my deck. Kudalun will recruit. She recruits a 2/1. All right, our next action will be to charge normally. I really don't want to spend an action for 1 Mythium. If I have this generous dealer in my hand that costs 5, I'm going to gain 2 as the round changes over, and I would have just enough to play it, but then I'll have no Mythium to use the discount. I can potentially gain a Mythium from the witness, but that won't be until it won't be available until my second action. I guess I'm gonna use an action to gain a Mythium. I'm not happy about it. That was my 4. Her 4 is to attack. I'm also not happy about this, but I have to either let it through or trade one of these 2. I don't like trading these for a baby. At least the witness can help later. The apprentice did its job already, so I guess that's okay. I found out that when I let Kudalun sneak through a few power, she can really gain it a lot later. So not only do you want to, because this isn't 1 power, this is 1 now and at least 1 later. If I kill it now, it's 0, but if I let it through, it can build up, kind of. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Let's gain 2 Mythium, draw a card, ready stuff, flip this over. This should have been discarded, and she's going to do a regular recruit. Oh, also this was attacking as a 3/2 with the counter, so I guess it's not so much of a baby. She gets the Earth Apprentice. That standing is also skipped. Doesn't have any effect other than being a 2/2, and this always throws me off. Those 2 windows, I always think that's like a graphical glitch, unlike the card layout somehow. Always throws me for a loop. So now she's got a 5/3 with 1 damage, so 2 life remaining, and then it's a 2/2. That flips to mobilize. Your opponent puts a 1/1 counter on a follower it controls with the least remaining health. So it'd be a tie, but this has higher standing. So this will get a +1/+1 counter before attacking. So I'm gonna have to deal 2 to it to block, or just use the Sentinel to remove it from the fight, or use the Sentinel to trade with it after removing something else from the fight. That sounds pretty good. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and play this guy. All my Mythium. My events and locations cost 1 less now, and he's a 2/4. That card I discarded is looking a bit better. The surprising development for 2 instead of 3 means I gain 5 for 2 plus 3. It's pretty nice, but I discarded it long time ago. I have to rebuild my Mythium. So that was my action. Her second action is going to go ahead and do the mobilizing. So +1/+1 here, attacking with these. And let's go ahead and do the Sentinel plan. Block here, remove this from the fight. 2 will kill the remaining 2, and of course 6 will kill the remaining 2 here. And that triggers my witness again. I get another 1 Mythium. Actually means I can afford to play this for 1 and gain 3. So not amazing, but I got a bit more Mythium now, but I'm back down to 1 card in hand, and it is a Suave Sycophant, who is nice. kind of got the blocking under control for now. Although her action is going to be to pledge fealty. This is going to bring out the Confident Suitor under the remaining new rule card here. He is a 6/6 with Overwhelm, but he only does it one time. And the gain 6 Mythium part is irrelevant in the AI mode, the solo mode. So, and he defeats himself after one attack. So it's basically like a free power for her, but it is in some ways weaker than another follower because he can only do it one time. With other followers, I have the option of blocking and to avoid it, but at least then they stick around. This guy doesn't stick around. So she gets him and flips that to a regular charge, and then I get a third action. I mean, I could just play the Sycophant. I don't think I need him right now. I'm not going to be blocking the Suitor. I'm just going to let her gain the 1 power. I'm not allowed to attack. I can gain 1 here, but I'm not in a rush to do that for a couple reasons. Again, I have got a couple of cards in my deck that let me develop more efficiently than spending an action on it. And the other reason is actually there's also a card in my deck that gives me Mythium every time I gain power. So I kind of want to, in case I draw that card, I kind of want to be able to trigger that. And it's under no threat because it can't be damaged by my opponent because it's hidden. So I'm not in a rush to do this. I kind of want to draw a card. So that's me. Then she's going to charge, attack with the Suitor. I'll let it through. She gains 1 power up to 5, and then he defeats himself and goes back over to this little stack on the side. This is discarded, which means her deck is empty, and I'm going to reshuffle the whole thing. And I'm not looking when to stop. Let's do it now. There we go. There were some riffle shuffles in there too. That was their turn. Now my 4th action. I want more ways to gain power. I don't want to commit to spending my Mythium either because I want to see what I draw, and I'm thinking about spending another action drawing. Yeah, let's just draw. All right, I had to get up for like 10 minutes. Now my mind is completely lost, but I think we're just at the end of the round. I used my last action to draw. Ready. Gain 2 Mythium. Draw a card. Flip this, which means I get to go again, which is nice. Still just at 5 though. Got a couple more locations. This one gives power. So let's do it. It costs 3, but because of the generous dealer, it only costs 2. And I'm going to be able to gain a star standing, which I don't need, but also a power, and then also gain a power and put a stationary counter on a follower, making them unable to block anymore. You can also trigger Marco Polo to check for a follower and don't get it. This is actually a card I was hoping to draw, the Exploitative Extraction. So that was my action. She will recruit a Forbidding Guru 3/3. Cannot be blocked by followers with strength 3 or greater. Not a problem. Although could be a problem because we want to be able to get rid of that. It's also going to be attacking with 4. Check that. Yep, regular charge there. Could just straight up pacify her. So pacify just an action. Just makes it stationary. I also have the Suave Sycophant, but it only has the 4 life, and because she's going to get +1 from Kudalun's bonus, that would kill this. So I'd rather spend my 3 Mythium to make it stationary without losing this guy, who I can still use later. I can also use the Mesmerizing Maze to make her stationary, but that would take me 2 actions, and she's going to be attacking on the next one. The dealer can block, but he's also got the 4 life versus 3+1 problem. So I guess I'm playing Pacify, again benefiting from the dealer. So I'm only going to have to pay 2 because actions or events and locations cost 1 less. And the Guru is now stationary. So that was my action. She will charge with the Apprentice, and I think I'll block with the dealer. This does get +1, so we're going to get 3 wounds here. But 2 back will kill 2, and when it dies, I'll trigger the Witness to gain a Mythium. This will be discarded to reveal Pledge Fealty. That's going to put the Confident Suitor out again. So again, that's going to be a free power for her. I'm not going to interrupt that, so I'm not going to worry about it. Question is, do I play this Illicit Bazaar? Costs 0, so I'm not benefiting from a discount. But it's going to give me more Mythium over time. Doesn't give any power. Or I can start using these for power. I think I'm going to use the Maze now because I want to be able to have this other one ready to make something stationary, and I have to go in order from top to bottom. Star standing is not too exciting at this point. Now it's 6. With these 2 available, that's 8. This one is also susceptible to being damaged, so that's another reason to get 1 off it, so that if I'm at risk of taking a hit, I can at least avoid the damage and use the action to finish developing it. That was my 3. Her 3 is to bring out the Suitor and flip into a regular charge. My 4, I mean, I could make him stationary, but he's going to go away after 1 attack anyway. But other followers she brings out might go away after 1 attack if I block them. How many 2 Earth or 3 Earth followers have gone? So far, it's been Tengri's Cavalry, the Astute Tactician, and the Forbidding Guru, which means there are 2 more double Earth standing cards, which presumably are the most powerful in this deck, and the rest are all from her starting deck. So I'm going to have to save this for one of those 2 and just let him get her the 1 power. So I'm going to save the Maze. I can't afford the Sycophant, so I guess I'm going to play the Bazaar and potentially be able to gain some Mythium later when I need it. Gaining 2 Mythium is better than 1. The downside is that is a location, and I'm not going to get the Marco Polo trigger because I already used it this round. So if I'm willing to do something else with this action, I can do this later. Like if I do it as my next action, then I get to trigger Marco Polo. But that means I'm not, and it's only like a % chance at a card. It's not 100% a card, as we just demonstrated earlier this round. So I think I'm going to bring it out, kind of running out of room for it. It's also hidden, so that's nice. He will charge with the Suitor and gain 1 power. And he defeats himself. She goes up to 6. Tie game again. We rally, ready, gain 2 Mythium, draw 1 card, and change player order. This would have been discarded, revealing flank. If I have any wounded followers, one of them is defeated. Oh no! Your opponent defeats the follower with the most wounds. The dealer is dead. But that means she doesn't recruit. And that triggers the witness I get a Mythium, up to 5. Alright, so that was her action. And now she's not going to be able to charge. So that's nice too. It was kind of like 2 actions. I didn't draw anything I'm excited about, so I'm going to draw a card. I've also got some breathing room. Ooh, I got the one I wanted. Blind Sculptor requires 3 stars, which I have. He costs 4, which I have. And during the rally phase, which I got to wait a while for now, but I get to develop a location. So this is one of the free develop efficiency cards I have access to. I'm at a virtual 8 power. So 6 currently plus 7, 8. This doesn't give any. So I still need to find at least 1 more card that gives power. Often they give 2 or more across their different abilities. So I need another location to be able to win. But I'm feeling okay. She will charge, but she can't. She's nothing to charge with. This is discarded, revealing a recruit. My action, I'm going to play him. Play the Blind Sculptor. 4/4. Gets a blocker 2 out of him as well. Then she will recruit. And another 2. Say 2/2. If you have at least 2 other followers, you get to +1/+1. But she only has 1 follower. We don't want to forget that this guru is here, but she is there. So no +1/+1. That's just a 2/2. I don't even need to bother mazing it. I can just block that with the Sculptor. So my third action, let's just start using the Bazaar. Let's get 2 Mythium and a standing. I guess I'll get a 5th stars, go up to 3 Mythium. Then she will do the other side of this. Oh, it is unrelenting. If any of her followers is stationary, it's removed. All right, so the Forbidding Guru is no longer stationary, but that also means she skips her attack. And now my 4th action, I'm going to gain 2 more with the Illicit Bazaar. Now during the rally phase, we actually have a rally ability. So step 1 of the rally phase is to resolve rally abilities. Blind Sculptor's the first one that we've seen here. Develop a location. So I'm going to develop the Maze to gain 1 power and put a stationary counter. And I'm going to just throw that Guru back. And this is now done. Ready cards, gain 2 Mythium, draw a card, and reverse player order. Check for victory, of course, but no one's at 10 yet. Card I drew is still not a location. So I'm just going to draw again. And it's the Den of Sabers. Here we go. Okay, so it costs 4. The Den of Sabers, gain a power, draw a card, and gain a standing, and then gain 2 power, which is what we're looking for. So she will inspire. Her Earth standing goes up again, but now it doesn't really matter. She gets a Kalari Adept, just a 1/1. This is flipped to become a regular charge. My second action, then she will charge. And when she does, how will I block? This is going to get the +1. So it'll be a 3/2, which doesn't kill the Sculptor. And the 1/1 can be blocked by the Witness, and it will still survive. So I'm going to leave that. I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Den of Sabers I just showed you for 4. Now I need to actually do these power gaining moves. I don't actually have to do this first one, gain 1. As long as I get this one and this 2, or just all 3 of these, that will put me from 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I can just skip this. So she will do the charge with these two. This gets +1. The blind sculptor can block there, dealing 4 to kill 2, and 3 will put 3 wounds on my 4 life guy. This is dead, which triggers him to give me 1 Mythium, and then he will block here, taking a 2nd wound, but killing the Adept. This is discarded, revealing a regular recruit. My 3rd action, I'm going to gain 1 power, going up to 8. She will recruit, and she gets a Amu River Armorer, a 2/2, which when it enters, she migrates, but she skips it. This is flipped to reveal a regular charge. My 4th action will be develop the Silkworm Terrarium. Discard it. I gain 1 power, going up to 9. Then she charges. I'm going to go ahead and let her get through. She will gain 1 power and damage one of my locations. This one can't be chosen because it's hidden, so she'll damage the Den of Sabers, removing the next counter down. So I can no longer use that 2nd ability to draw a card and gain a standing. And then that was her attack. That ends the round. During the rally phase, I'll trigger the Blind Sculptor to develop a location I control, and I'll develop the Den of Sabers. The next available ability here is to gain 2 power, putting me up to 11. And in step 5, we will check for victory. And I did it! I actually won a game. So the previous game, I feel like I felt like I was unlucky at the time, but I didn't know if it was just too hard. This game, I did feel like I got lucky. I got a lot of the cards in the order that I wanted them. And she did some actions that basically made her skip rounds. I feel like some of the new cards actually made her weaker. Pledge Fealty is interesting because it's a 6/6, which is scary, but a lot of the power of this card is that he actually pays you back 6 Mythium and you only paid 4 for him. But she doesn't benefit from that Mythium at all, so he's just a single attack. So this card actually makes her deck weaker, I think. And this card killed one of my guys, but it made it so she didn't bring out someone else, which is unit neutral, I suppose. But I actually feel like it could be weaker. I mean, my guy was pretty strong, but depending on what dies, it might not actually be better for her. It also made her skip her next action entirely, which would have been to attack. So that's pretty notable. And Lay Siege gives me the option. I can kind of play around it. Do I want to let her just damage a location? I ended up not doing that and just made her attack normally, but I had the option to play around that. Whereas with a normal charge, I wouldn't have any options. So that was kind of interesting. That game was pretty fun. I like winning, so that's relevant. I feel like my stuff was firing on all cylinders. I was waiting and hoping for the Blind Sculptor, and he showed up. He got me a few extra triggers there toward the end of the game, which was nice. Got to trigger this guy a bunch of times. Got like 4 Mythium off of him or something like that. The game lasted a while. That certainly helps. So I was down to just a few cards in my deck. So that helps you find the locations you need to get the power you need. But that would complete the criteria here of Chapter 5. Flip this card if you win the game. You have successfully escaped your Mongol pursuers and can now make your way safely to Tehran and beyond. Congratulations, you've completed part 1 of the Advent of the Khanate campaign. Marco Polo's adventure is over, at least for now. The story continues in part 2 with Kudalun, the true daughter of Genghis Khan. And then it says, stop! The remainder of this deck is part 2. Check the rulebook and reset everything. So we played part 1, which basically just means, and I guess they're not really even mechanically linked, they're just progression of the storyline. But everything's going to reset. All this is going to be gone. But that was cool to play through. I really like being able to play a 2-player battle game without having to have another human opponent ready and willing to do so. And plus, I can record it for you on camera and archive the storyline for the ages of YouTube. I am planning to play part 2, maybe next week, maybe sometime farther in the future. I'm planning for next week, but I don't want to make any promises. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and bye.